Hi everyone, I'm the Unobtrusive Healer and welcome to your weekly guidance reading. So this reading is for the week of the 4th of September through to Sunday, what would it be, like the 11th? Or the 10th? 10th or 11th? Forgive me, I probably should have checked that before I started. But yes, I am hoping to start uploading these on the Sunday before that week starts so that you have a more of a look ahead instead of on the first day of the week. So we'll see how that goes. I apologize, I've been very inconsistent lately, but I'm hoping to turn that around with so many planets in retrograde, and also the fact that I was born in a Mercury retrograde and we're in a Mercury retrograde. Things always slow down for me, and like my energy tends to suffer a little bit. So I sort of just had to slow down recently and just make sure that I was good before I could come and deliver these readings for you, because the last thing I want to do is put up a reading of low quality or low energy and just not have it match the energy of my viewers, or just not have it sounding, positive or uplifting. So that is the importance of why sometimes I just have to avoid posting. But yeah, let's get into the messages for next week. So to start off with the general overall energy, we have the Ears Wide Open card. So this is the number 33. So the first card coming out is a master number. And this card, firstly, I like how we're getting a lot of the purple and blues coming through in this top row. We have a lot of sort of color synchronicities. So it does feel like it could be more of a spiritual week, because the blue is making me think of third eye, the purple is making me think of crown chakra, and they're the higher chakras that are all about our sort of psychic senses and our inner knowing and our intuition and things like that. So what this card is about listening with the intent to really listen. So what I mean by this is sometimes as humans, we can get carried away. When someone's talking, we can be thinking about what we're going to say next, or, we might be checking our phone, or we might be looking in a different direction. And when we truly tune in and listen, not only with our ears, but with our sort of psychic senses, we don't just hear what the other person's saying, but we also can pick up on the things that they might not be saying. So when we're really present and we're really listening with the intent to listen, not thinking about what we're going to say next or being distracted, it's like there's a chance that you can hear something or pick up on something that's not quite being said, or you can learn something really crucial for you right now. There's obviously a reason that the universe is saying this is a really good time to be present and really listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. And it may not just be with one particular person, it could be in general. It could be like, whether that's listening to the universe and being present and looking for signs from spirit, whether that's a partner that you have or a friend or a family member, and you pick up on something or you learn something from them. But it's about really being present and listening with intent. So not with the intent to talk or the intent to do anything, but really hear and take in what the other party is really saying. So yeah, there could be like valuable messages from spirit or something valuable coming from another person, that if you're not really present and tuned in, you could easily miss it or dismiss it. So it's a very good week to listen, be present, and, listen not just with your ears, but with your mind and your heart and your entire being. But yeah, it seems like there's like something important to learn, or there's like messages from spirit or messages from your own spiritual team. But yeah, so be very present, listen with the intent to truly listen and hear and feel the other person. And that is a really good way to navigate this next week. So we'll move on now to the career and finances section. So this first card is for career or study, depending on what you might be doing right now. And we have the Six of Air. So this is a positive card because it means that things are going to start to move in a positive direction. I was going to say positive situation because I was reading situation. But it's like things are going to start to improve. You're going to find a bit more of a flow. So it feels like, I can definitely relate to this because it literally says here the end of a difficult situation, and I've been struggling to get work out recently. So it's like if there's been conflicts or mishaps or, you know, just a lot of things sort of working against you, this is where you're going to find more of a flow and you'll be able to again move with the tide or move with the current. Some of you may be taking some time off, you know, taking a little trip or just taking a little break, whereas some of you might just notice that, you know, your schedule gets easier or your workflow gets easier. But either way, it's like a breath of fresh air that you're going to welcome. And things are looking up, things are improving. So a positive card that seems to indicate some sort of relief or mental relief specifically. So whether it's career or study, it seems like over the next week you're going to feel some kind of mental relief, whether that's because you find your flow or you're just taking a little break. Some of you may be like, if this resonates for you, some of you may be like transitioning to another role in your job or like transitioning to another location. I don't pick up anything like a complete change of career or change of like degree if you're studying, but it's like a more of a minor transition. It's like, you know, if you can take that class at a different location or if you can do that job at a different location but for the same company, like something minor like that, some of you could resonate with. But yeah, that's what I'm picking up with that. It's kind of like a brief message, but I think that a lot of you are going to find relief in the fact that things are going to be a little bit easier and it's more smooth sailing. So now for finances specifically, we have the Two of Air here. So this can sometimes relate to some sort of decision that you're trying to make and are feeling a little bit stuck on making it. Because we're in the finances section, it could be a financial related decision that you're contemplating over the next week and trying to come to a decision, but it's potentially going to be difficult to come to that decision this week. It feels like you're kind of like at a crossroads, but with this conflicting energy, maybe the fact that you can't make a decision right now is because you're not meant to make a decision right now. Maybe you can put that decision off a week or two. You know, we are in Mercury retrograde, for example, so maybe the reason you can't make a decision is because it's just not time to make a decision. You may make the wrong decision or something. But like, don't just ignore it or pretend there's no problem. Do the reflection that you need to do so that when it does feel right and you do come to that decision, it's quite easy to make that decision. So don't just ignore the problem, pretend it doesn't exist, or pretend the decision doesn't exist. Do the reflection, sit in meditation if you need to, and just, I guess, process what you can for now until that time is actually right. With the two unicorns here and their horns are kind of crossed, there's a potential that some of you may be butting heads with somebody else over a financial decision. So whether that's like a partner or a family member or a friend or a business partner, you could be at odds with one another. But again, I think that just by sort of reflect on what you need to reflect on, and don't avoid it, but also don't try to rush it or force one another into making that decision. Just allow a little bit of time. And then the prosperity message this week, we have number 23, peace. And this is one that we're going to read from the book. Okay, so this prosperity message says, this is one of those times when you're capable of clear vision about your work and how you create your prosperity. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're called by a presence to step into your power. Just being is enough, for you are in peaceful harmony with spirit and it shows in your work. So again, it kind of ties in with that message. It's like, you're capable of clear vision about your work and how you create your prosperity. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Step into your power, but just being is enough here because you're in peaceful harmony with spirit. So it's kind of doubling down on that message where it's like, if you can't make a decision right now, it's because it's not the right time. You're actually in harmony with spirit, with the cosmos. It's very difficult to make these decisions when there's like 7 planets in retrograde. So it's like, just being is totally enough. If you can't make a decision, it doesn't mean it's because you're out of harmony or you're out of alignment. It's actually because you're in alignment right now and it's not the right time. So it's like, again, reflect on what you need to reflect on. Don't avoid your problems. But if there is a problem that you're struggling to resolve or a decision that you're struggling to make, it's because you're in alignment with the cosmos and it's just not the right time to make it. Allow yourself the time to just be, meditate if you can, and allow that resolution or those answers or that decision to come to you at the right time. So that's that one. All right, so we're going to move into the love and romance section. So we have a card for singles, a card for people in up in the air connections or situationships, and we have a card for people in relationships or like proper established connections. So we'll start here with the Sun card, which is the card for singles. So this is a positive card because it does indicate to me that you have a certain glow about you and your energy is very attractive to other people. So you're going to be noticed a bit more. You're going to feel more outgoing, more willing to put yourself out there, connect with other people. It's almost like there's this aura about you that other people are going to enjoy being around. They're going to enjoy the effects that you have on them. And then we have the words here of like success and recognition. So it does feel like people are going to really see you for the wonderful person you are. And, people will just be attracted to your warmth and your energy. Like I said, they're going to really recognize your worth. So I can't help but notice we have like all these flowers around this person, or it's an angel here, but it kind of is making me think that more than one person is noticing you, whether you realize it or not. There are, more than one person is noticing you. And yeah, it would be a good week to be sort of putting yourself out there, socializing, having fun. That's also going to help sort of with that warm and inviting energy. But we'll pull a few clarifiers and we'll see if there's any sort of standout people or events for the week. So let's further elaborate on the Sun card for the Singles Collective in Love and Romance for the week of the 4th of September. Okay, so we do have the Fool card here. So this is like new beginning type of energy. Again, it's also about like having fun, being adventurous. Then we have the High Priestess. So we've got some really big cards coming out. So with the Sun, the Fool, and the High Priestess, they're all major arcana. So this could be a very major or transformative week for the Singles Collective. The Fool card and the High Priestess is definitely like trusting your intuition and taking a leap of faith. So if you're called to act or called to take a risk, do that. That's a very strong message there with those two cards. It's like if your intuition's pulling you to take a leap of faith, take that leap of faith. On more of a, what am I trying to say? Excuse me. No, I've lost it. But yeah, so trust your intuition. If it calls you to act towards something or take a risk towards something when it comes to your love life, then follow that, act upon it. Five of Pentacles. So just going to throw it out there. Some of you may be intuitively feeling like an ex, or just maybe, no, because with the Five of Pentacles, this would be like someone who's been sort of like out of your life for a while. Some of you may be feeling intuitive, like you may be picking up on their energy, or you may be picking up on the fact that they're thinking of you, or you're thinking about each other. And there could be something here where one of you are called to take a leap of faith and reach out to the other person. The Five of Pentacles in this love reading to me is like someone who's been out in the cold. So whether you feel like you got iced out or someone else felt like they got iced out, it could be that one of you sort of just takes a risk and reaches out to the other person. But it could also be on more of like an energetic level. It's like someone's soul is like calling out for you, and you may be picking up on that. I don't know why it's so important. We've got the Tower on the bottom as well. So yeah, it's very unexpected. So someone could surprise you, or you could surprise someone. And again, there's sort of that like leap of faith energy. The Fool is about like a leap of faith. He's about to take a leap off of this ledge and just have faith that the universe supports him. And these two people here are taking a leap of faith out of this burning building with the faith that they're going to, you know, land safely. So there's a lot of like leap of faith energy happening in this reading, and it feels like potentially someone who you haven't been speaking to lately, or it's been a while, could sort of pop up. Or you could feel that call to kind of take a leap towards that person. So take that if it resonates. That's the main message coming out. I understand that maybe not everybody will resonate with that message, but there's like in my head, I'm trying to ask like for an interpretation if someone doesn't resonate with that message, but nothing's really coming to me. So it feels like that's the message that Spirit wants to deliver here. And yeah. Interesting. So it's definitely all about like sitting with your intuition, receiving the messages, but then also acting upon them, like not just ignoring those messages. I feel like I can't clear my throat today. Excuse me. Must be so annoying as the viewer hearing me constantly clear my throat. But anyways, so I'm going to leave that there. The other thing I will throw out there is make sure you're going out, you're having fun, you're being social. Don't get caught in the house too much. It feels like you're going to benefit most from being out and about, socializing, having fun. And if money is an issue, work around it. Do things that aren't going to cost you money. Or, there's also a message here about if you've been not feeling well lately, or if your energy's been run down and you haven't really had the energy to get out and about, it may improve this week and you may be more able or more willing to get out and about. But yeah, we'll just leave that there for now. But it feels like, being out and about, you're going to be noticed, you're going to get I don't know, having fun and putting yourself out there is a very good week for that. I'm just going to leave it there because I keep rambling. Okay, so for those of you that are in connections or situationships, in up in the air connections or situationships, we have the Four of Earth coming out here. So this would indicate to me that potentially maybe you're trying a little too hard to control the situation or to control the narrative and dictate where the relationship's going. It feels like maybe you need to sort of loosen the reins a little bit, not just for the other person's sake, but for your sake as well, and just sort of work on surrendering. We will pull some more cards, but it could also be for some of you, it could also be like you're trying to control like yourself too much. You're not saying the things that you really want to say. You're not opening up. You're kind of sitting there waiting for the other person to open up, and maybe they're sitting there waiting for you to open up. So maybe it's time to sort of, open up about your feelings, get vulnerable. Stop trying to like keep it all in, and maybe it's time to, open up a little bit. So what's going on for situationships and up in the air connections for the week of the 4th of September? We have another 4. Yeah, so it does feel like there could be a really good outcome if you just open up a little bit. So if you're keeping your cards really close to your chest and the other person's doing that as well, it feels like you could really turn things around by just opening up and saying what you really want to say, or saying what you really feel deep down. There is a chance to like solidify connections for some of you, and you may end up, being boyfriend and girlfriend, or being exclusive, or, just making the relationship official for some of you, if that resonates. And then for others of you, like, let's say this person turns around and they're not on the same page, at least you then have the truth and you have the information that you need to make a decision moving forward. So the World was the only one that flipped upright there. So again, you could come into like a very wholesome union just from having that vulnerable conversation and being open and honest. Or, you could close out a cycle, but then you have the freedom to put yourself out there and begin something new and more fulfilling. So regardless of the outcome, it's going to work in your favor anyway. I'm going to get one more card. Oops. All right, so we have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, it's like the Seven of Wands is, it's not only about sort of like defending yourself and protecting yourself, but it's also like fighting for what you believe in. So if that's the connection, then wonderful. If it's fighting to get your needs met because that's a value, then, you know, wonderful. You're either going to get them met or you're not. And then you, like I said, then you know what to do moving forward. You're not stuck in this up in the air scenario anymore, or this situationship anymore. You then have the power to make a different choice, or if you decide that that's what you're happy to stay with and settle with and that's fulfilling to you, then great. You know, like the worst that can happen is you find out that this is not your person, but wouldn't you rather it that way anyway? Wouldn't you rather know now than to continue wasting time? And then best case scenario, you end up committed, happy, and in a really wholesome relationship, all just from, you know, having that scary conversation. So that's the message for up in the air connections and situationships. Now we're going to go into established connections and established relationships. So we have the Queen of Earth coming out for you guys. Now, this is a card about someone who is someone who is very generous. Like it says here, gracious, practical, capable, grounded. This is someone who has a lot to give other people. So this could be you or your person, but it just feels like, as a rule of thumb for when I'm doing these types of readings, if it is the Queen that comes out, I tend to read it as the viewer. So this feels like it's your energy, like you've got a lot to give your partner, your family, either or both, or even like your friends and your community. And it's like you're going to be feeling really secure in yourself, and therefore you're going to have a lot to give others. So like your cup's full, therefore you're overflowing with things like good advice, warmth, love, compassion, those types of energies. But yeah, even look at the way she's standing. Like she knows her worth. She knows what she brings to the table. And she's got a lot to give. So it's going to be a week where you're feeling good about yourself, feeling secure in yourself, and having a lot to give the people around you. Let's get some clarifiers out. I don't know if your relationship is long-term, there's like, I'm sort of seeing subtle signs of either like a gift or a bit of like a surprise. So let's clarify this. So relationships next week, what's going on there? Why do we have the Queen of Earth? Okay, no, I'm not going to take all those. So we have the Seven of Wands. If any of you are parents, there could be like a moment or a situation where you go into like protective mama mode or protective father mode, for those who resonate, and you're fighting for or defending your child or children in particular. I don't mean literally fighting like throwing hands. I mean like protecting and standing up for your children in some way. That's a message that's strongly coming out. Queen of Earth is very maternal energy. And the Seven of Wands is about like defending what you care about, fighting for what you care about, standing up for what you care about, etc., etc. So yeah, that's a strong message that's coming out just with those two cards there. It could also be a week like where you're feeling so secure in yourself and what you bring to the table that you're not willing to settle for poor treatment, or you're more willing to defend yourself and stand up for yourself this week. Three of Pentacles. That's all about collaboration and teamwork. So it could even be that you're on the same team about what you're fighting for or protecting. So the Three of Pentacles tells me that you're very much on the same page, working as a team, you know, really in sync, and there seems to be a specific cause that you're on the same page about, and it involves like defending or protecting something of value. We have the Sun, so there's a happy outcome, a happy, positive, successful outcome. Or if it's you trying to get your needs met or trying to get some sort of recognition, you're going to get it from your person. Like, you're going to be on the same page in the end. You're not going to be on opposite teams. It's like they're going to be really understanding about whatever it is you have to say. Or again, if it's like you guys are fighting for your children or you're defending your children in regards to something, there's some sort of positive, successful outcome. And what I would say with that, with the Hierophant coming out under here, is stay true to your values and have the highest good of all in your intentions, and you can't go wrong. That's a very strong message with the Hierophant, is like, stay true to your values, have the highest good of all at heart, and there is literally no going wrong. Okay, so we're going to move on now to spiritual and personal growth or challenges this week. So this is one that we read from the book, as usual. So we have mindful wisdom. Mindfulness is the simple act of being present in each moment, but for most people it is not always achievable during daily life. Complications of employment, relationships, children, social activities, and career choices can all seem to distract us from achieving this goal. It is only when you choose to become present that you receive clarity of consciousness, peace of mind, and objective understanding surrounding current issues. The owl is a representation of inner knowing and mindfulness, patiently and carefully monitoring their surroundings, followed by clear and direct action. You may be feeling confused about people's actions, but like the owl, we must observe our surroundings to the best of our ability to see the real meaning of a person's actions or the origin of specific issues. Now is the time to journey inwards to access your inner knowing and personal wisdom through mindful practice to create a homeostasis, an equilibrium in your heart and mind. Bring yourself back to a heart space where you can approach anything with calmness and clarity. Right now, place yourself of value. When the owl appears in your life, it encourages you to use strong intuition to gain wisdom about matters that you shouldn't ignore. More importantly, self-worth and confidence. Tolerance can be achieved through objectivity and inner peace. Acknowledging all our experiences so we can be objective with our emotional and mental processes. Instead of reacting immediately out of anger, mindfulness allows you to be aware of this anger, helping you realize why you are angry and then process the circumstances surrounding this emotion. This new form of emotional intelligence allows you to physically react using a positive process and method that is beneficial to you and others, while understanding the reasoning behind their behaviors. So that's really interesting, this message, because it really, from here to up till now, it really emphasizes the importance of being present, really tuning in and listening, but then also prioritizing your own value and your own self-worth, and, you know, being confident, saying what needs to be said as well as doing the listening. So yeah, that's a beautiful message. We are then going to read the hedgehog message. So the hedgehog is the spirit animal that's going to be closely guiding the collective for this week that we are talking about. And this is its message for you. Now more than ever is the time to embrace who you are, your truth and your gifts, for you have many. It is not the time to shy away from them. Just because someone may not understand you or your point of view, it is not a reason to curl up and retreat. Yes, it is natural to question yourself, but before you do anything, think about the bigger picture. Take a few deep breaths and focus on your heart, where love and compassion live. These challenging people, views, and situations were sent as a test to teach you how to handle the situation, how to rise above it, how to love unconditionally. Send love to that which has upset you. So it may be that, like, it's when you're not enjoying the person you're listening to or what they have to say, that's when it's even more important to really listen and tune in and forget about how you're feeling in the moment, but to really observe and tune in to understand both what they're saying as well as what they're not saying. Miscommunications are prevalent throughout Mercury retrogrades, and Venus has also been retrograde as well. And I think it's ending over the next week, but it'll still be in its shadow. So it's still going to be like, you know, you might not be as in sync, which is why it's even more important to focus on not just what is being said, but also what's not being said. So now we're getting to the question section of this reading. So if you have a question about anything in this reading or anything in general, or even if it's, is there any advice I need to hear right now? Pause the video if you need to. Think about your question, hold it in your mind, and I'm going to shuffle out some cards. We'll get 2 cards, so we have a group 1 and a group 2. Once you have your question, then feel whether you're drawn to group 1 or group 2, and I'm going to read you an answer from the Angel Answers book. So pause now if you need to, and then when you're ready, you can come and watch me shuffle the cards out. So what is the answer to group 1's message? Did I say what is the answer to group 1's message? I meant group 1's question. So that's group 1. And what is the answer to group 2's question? And that's group 2. So group, why don't I put the lid back on this box? So the answer for group 1 is the situation will improve. So your angels want you to know that they are aware that things look difficult right now. However, the situation is going to improve. It may take some time, and there will most likely be some hard work ahead of you, but the effort you put forth will be worth it, and things are going to get better. Now is not the time to give up on wounded friendships or ailing relationships. There is still hope for the future. Take heart and continue to work toward a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future. And group 2's answer is get more information. The situation you're asking about requires more information in order for you to make a wise decision. Approach those knowledgeable about the topic to solicit their advice. If there are friends or family members in your midst who have insight into the matter, ask for their observations. You may need to do some analytical research in order to get the data you need. This could include reading books, taking classes or seminars, or gathering information from the internet. So I hope they have hit the mark for your respective questions. That's it from me, guys. Sending love, light, and everything bright. Bye.